This A238 series Mercedes E-Class Cabriolet is not only sleeker and more stylish than its predecessors, but also this time slightly larger and quite a lot more sophisticated. The result is an arguably more prestigious approach to executive convertible motoring than obvious competitors can offer. True, it isn't the sharpest steer in its class, nor is it the most lavishly equipped or the most affordable to buy, but it's the best at being all the things that typical executive cabriolet owners want their cars to be. And yes, it feels a class above its rivals, just as a Mercedes-Benz always should.
Mercedes says that with this generation E-Class Cabriolet, it's worked hard to inject what it calls a little more luxurious, sporty character into the car. Hence the new E-Class platform's wider track, the slightly lowered suspension and the standard dynamic select driving mode system, all of which has certainly made a difference, but not enough of one to essentially alter the character of this car. I mean, it's still more of a boulevard cruiser than a B-road blaster, and that is exactly as it should be. That's not to say that this car is unaccomplished when the going gets twisty, it's just that other rivals see dynamic cornering as being just that bit more important. In Stuttgart, however, they've spent their development time on everyday features that they think typical buyers will appreciate more. Now, our favourite one is called Air Cap, and it's there to deal with that windy buffeting that normally afflicts open-top cars at speed. And it uses a deflector that rises above the windscreen frame and a draft stop that rises above the normal level of the rear seats. Combined with the air scarf, warm air, neck-level vents, it makes this a convertible that you'd be comfortable using al fresco all year round. Under the bonnet, most buyers will choose the engine we're trying here, the new generation 2-litre 194 HP 4-cylinder diesel power plant that features in this entry-level E220D variant. It's still not quite as refined as we'd ideally like, but it is a responsive and efficient unit capable of 57.7 mpg on the combined cycle and 126 grams per kilometre of CO2. 4MATIC four-wheel drive is optional with the E220D. Hardly anyone is likely to choose a petrol-powered 4-cylinder alternative, the 2-litre turbocharged 245 HP E300 model. That's only offered in standard rear-driven form. There may, though, be quite a lot of interest in trading up to one of the mainstream V6 versions, both only offered in 4MATIC guise. There are two options at this level, the 258 HP E350D diesel and the 333 HP E400 petrol model. Plus, at the very top of the range, there's a high-performance 435 HP Mercedes-AMG E53 Cabriolet flagship variant, in which toupees will need to be very firmly tied down. In all the 6-cylinder variants, you get as standard the air body control air suspension system, which is optional on the 4-cylinder derivatives. This setup can be fine-tuned via the various settings of the dynamic select driving mode system, which influences throttle response, steering feedback, and the reactions of the standard silky smooth 9G Tronic Plus 9-speed automatic gearbox that all E-Class Cabriolet models must have. Now that the E-Class Cabriolet has shed the compact C-Class underpinnings used on previous modern era models, it's been able to grow a little. Well, quite a lot actually. This A238 generation design is 123 mils longer, 74 mils wider and 30 mils taller than its predecessor. We should start by telling you a little about the fully automatic roof, which features an acoustic design derived from that used by the brand's larger S-Class Cabriolet. The hood fabric is personalisable too. The multi-layer soft top's available in dark brown, dark blue as here, or dark red if you don't like the standard black. Now you activate it via the middle button in this trio of switches just ahead of the central armrest, and the opening or closing process takes 20 seconds with operation possible at speeds of up to 31 miles an hour. Now, a particularly nice touch is the way you can activate the roof mechanism using the key fob too. So if you're across the street from your E-Class Cabriolet, sipping a coffee and admiring the car in its roof retracted form, then the heavens open, you can casually raise the hood without shifting from your seat. Brilliant. When retracted, the folded canopy is stored in its own boot compartment and separated from the rest of the trunk by a retractable cover. As for the other two switches either side of this main control button, well, one retracts all four windows in one action, while the other engages the air cap draft stop mechanism, which raises this rather ugly contraption on the windscreen header rail at the same time as activating this equally awkward looking wind deflector behind the rear seats. Both features are undeniably effective though. Time to take a seat inside, at which point Mercedes' now traditional belt buckler hands you your seat belt over your shoulder on an extending arm. It's a nice little touch that really sets the tone for this car. The seats are fitted out with the air scarf neck level vents that you'll be really glad of if you're tempted to go al fresco on a chilly morning. Take a look around and you'll find that, as expected, apart from a few extra trimming panels, the basic architecture of this cabin is shared with the E-Class saloon. The only really unique difference being these more distinctive air vents. There are no fewer than 4 of them here in the centre of the fascia, all with styling that's supposed to echo the look of a turbine engine. Now, the other main cabin talking point is this double-screen instrument panel, which is standard on the 6-cylinder models, but optional on 4-cylinder variants like this one. It combines a 12.3-inch virtual instrument display with a second centre dash command online monitor of the same size, and both screens are fitted into a single frame. Time to take a seat in the rear. Now, once you are in the back, there are certainly signs of improvement over what went before. The 113mm increase in wheelbase does indeed translate into extra stretching space. There's 103mm more legroom, although that's not quite as much as you'll get in the fixed top model. Plus, thanks to the extra 74mm of body width, there's 34mm more space for your shoulders. Finally, let's check out the boot space. With the roof open like this, the luggage capacity is 310 litres. With the roof up, that capacity figure rises to 385 litres. That's 25 litres more than the C-Class Cabriolet and only 15 litres less than you'll get in an S-Class Cabriolet. More pertinently, though, it's also fractionally more than Audi and BMW can offer. Should you want to carry more, the standard 50-50 split folding rear backrest can be activated via these 2 buttons on either side of the cargo bay, creating the option for you to push through longer items like skis or golf clubs. So, how to summarise? Well, in driving and owning this car, you feel another more elegant level away from owners of the brand's less aspirational C-Class Cabriolet, and a cut above the sporting convertible models that car competes with, cabrios like BMW's 4 Series and Audi's A5. There's a maturity and a class here that those sportier rivals lack. They could never be considered as a wise and cost-efficient alternative to spending £40,000 to £50,000 more on a Maserati Grand Cabrio or a BMW 8 Series convertible. This Mercedes could be, and that just about sums it up.